on. Hi, everybody. Woo. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. I mean, as good as can be. Let's see. I've had quite the day. Is that? Oh, I don't know. Well, little green screen. You just have to keep up. Okay. I just put some smoothing oil in my hair, and I think I put a little too much. I don't know. I was running around trying to get ready because, I mean, tonight's show, the show must go on. But I have to leave. You know, it's only going to be an hour tonight because I'm giving a speech. I'm giving a lecture to the Quilt Guild of the British Isles. And I mean, I have to say, I'm like, I'm nervous, you know, because it's an honor to be asked. And it's, you know, it's not just like the Quilt Guild of, you know, a town. It's oh thank God, Eric's here with chips. Crisps. See, what if I say chips?
You need a bubble bath.
Dork. So now I feel greasy and nervous. Have you ever seen Young Frankenstein? Terry Garr's like, I'm hysterical. And then somebody throws water in her face and she's like, I'm wet and I'm hysterical. So I've got to do some grooming after the show. So the show, like I said, is a little bit shorter because I have a gig. But I didn't want to cancel the show because I love the show. And I'm glad you're here. And for the second time ever, I'm streaming on YouTube at the same time as Twitch. Now, I still don't know totally what that means in terms of like how people watching on YouTube can chat with the Twitch chat. I don't know yet. If you're watching on YouTube, you have to understand that Twitch, live streaming, and setting up something called Streamlabs OBS, all new to me. To many people who are in the Quilt Nerd fold, also all of that stuff is new. They don't have to learn Streamlabs, but I do, you know? So we got a lot of new stuff going on. But if you're watching on YouTube, I'm really glad you're there. And welcome to the Quilt Nerd fold. Last night was the first night I went live on YouTube at the same time I was going live on Twitch. What is happening with... I don't even know. I can't even look. I'm not looking. I don't know what the lighting's doing. I didn't have time to look. Anyway. Last night I had to go live because Nicole Richie is selling Geese Ben quilts on Etsy. I mean, it was like, well, we have to talk about this. And so I went live unexpectedly, and it was really, really fun to do it. And so maybe I'll just pop on a live stream more often at strange times. So I want to welcome everybody who's here. Hey, everybody. Hello. My little green screen isn't happy without that light on. Maybe I better do this. It liked it better like that, didn't it? Oh, I don't know. Okay, who's here? We have the new Elizabeth is here. It's Val. Val is in the chat. Sue is in the chat. The Write Down is in the chat. Everybody's in the chat. Carol Hempel extended her tier 1 subscription through December. Thank you very much, Carol Hempel. You were one of my first subscribers, and I will always remember it. You have a first icon near your name, I think, or something. Some of you do have that. I'm sure you do. M. Sujan is here. Hello, Sujan. The Benny Hill vibe. Yeah. The opening music is, I want that Quilt Church vibe, because for a minute the show was called Quilt Church, you know. The people who've been here from the start, remember. So we're always going to keep the gospel. And Fiandor must be in the chat because I glanced down and I saw the music icons. I like that. I don't know why. It's really nice when I see it. So always do it. Okay, you always have to do it. Carol Hempel. Okay, yes. Carol Hempel. Okay. Pam Priest is here. Excellent. Dee Marie is here. Yeah, I like the saxophone too. Excellent. Quilty Nancy is here. Hello, my Holmes maker. I'm so glad. Yeah, we got tattoos to talk about. Flying geese emotes. Oh, that's very good. Very creative. I like that. I'm not surprised. Your computer doesn't like Twitch. Well, you know, some people said, why don't you just stream from YouTube all the time? And I said, I have to be different, I guess. I don't know. I do like Twitch. I really do. I really do. And let's see. Yeah, you can see it. Yes, you can see it on YouTube eventually. In fact, I think right now, this show is streaming on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Like, you could abandon Twitch and go to YouTube. I don't know that you'll be able to do the chat. I don't know if I figured that out yet. Maybe the YouTubies, if you chat in the YouTube chat box, maybe it'll come through the pipe, come across the pike here, but I don't know yet. I don't know. It's all happening. Yes, and there's always something happening with quilts. Absolutely. Okay, good. Marianne, who invited me to speak to the Quilt Guild of the British Isles, has reminded me that it's just the London region of the Quilt Guild of the British Isles. Marianne, my shoulders will now lower slightly. It's still a very big deal. I mean, any gig that I do, like, this is like, yeah, it's a big deal for me. Like, I come hard on all my guild gigs. I always do. But I think there's something like 6,000 people in that guild, right? Across the United Kingdom, or the British Isles, something. And I was like, yeah. And part of the reason I was feeling very stressed, and still am, is because I did all new slides. I refreshed my lecture on myths in the American quilt story, because that's the lecture I'm giving tonight. And it was the great occasion, right, to redo that entire lecture in a new program and everything. And it looks great. A few of the credits under the quilts are missing. And so I'm finding them, and I think it's fine. And I check in at 6:30 to make sure we're good with tech, and then I have until 7 o'clock to make sure like 5 quilts get their credit line. Anyway, I don't want you to worry about anything, Marianne. I've got it under control. But it's been a hell of a day at sea. There's always something happening with quilts, including tattoos. It's true. You're getting weird repeats. Interesting. Blobfish, thanks Blobfish for the tech help. It could be, I hope it's not me. Oh God. Hey, Bridgewater INVA. Bridgewater in Virginia. I think I got it. It's your first time joining us live. I'm so happy. Everyone, please do welcome Bridgewater in Virginia. I feel pretty good about that. I think I got that. Yeah, I'm really glad you're here, and I'm glad you made it live. I love it when I can watch a live streamer that I like live. A lot of times it doesn't happen, but then I kind of like listening to the replay too, because, it's there. The content is still there, but it's nice to be able to chime in. I'm really glad you came in. Let's see, checking in from California, M. Hicks. Got that 85-degree weather. Safari might be good for folks. Hey, Myra. Chris Mess. Yeah. Chris Mess, who is our in-house tattoo artist, has just reminded me that I'm broadcasting to the entire world right now. And I'm very nervous about a gig to a finite group of people that will not be broadcast live. This is good. This makes me feel more nervous about what I'm doing right now, and slightly less nervous about what I'll be doing in about an hour. Oh, 2 hours. Okay. Padma tried it out. Tried doing a comment on YouTube, but it doesn't look like it's coming to Twitch. I'm sure it's some setting that I have to do. And I hope all these tech things, this going along in this endeavor and little by little figuring out tech things, I hope it's like, I hope it makes people feel better and not worse. Just because, I'm really lost too. I mean, I don't want to sound like a nincompoop, but like, I really am finding things out along with you. So, feel good. If you can't figure something out, or you're like, why is this happening? I feel exactly the same way. Oh, good. I got Virginia right. Okay. I'm excited too, Marianne. Twitch comments don't go to YouTube. Well, there must be a way. Okay. Myra, you were listening to the recording of your latest Modern Quilt Guild meeting and missed the notification by 9 minutes. Well, I did start a little bit early because I only have an hour tonight. And time's a wasting. So if you're new around here, we start every show. Oh, well, wait, hold on. I have to tell you why we're here at all. And it'll be a brief description, a brief intro. Because usually the show lasts 2 hours. Sometimes it lasts over that. I mean, I think there was one show in there. I mean, we almost went 3 hours. It was great. But tonight has to be shorter, which is sad. Even though it's for a good reason. We're here because I am a quilt nerd, okay? I make quilts. I still make quilts sometimes, not as many as I used to. But there came a point when I was making quilts when I think it was when I was looking for inspiration for my next quilt, and I looked in a book of old quilts, like Amish quilts or something. It was like a book from my mom's shelf that had all these stories and these pictures of quilts that were made a long time ago. And I started to understand that quilts are way more than just pretty blankets. They have history. They tell history. They are social, like culturally, they're just weird objects. You know, how much does a quilt cost? You know, I call them priceless, worthless objects. You can't put a price on a really special family quilt, but if you try to sell a quilt you made, you know, last month, try to sell it, just let me know how much you get for it, because there's a wide range of possibilities. Most of them are on the lower end of what you probably feel they should be, right? Because you know how many hours it takes to make a quilt. So quilts are really weird. They're very bizarre. They also are made in every part of the world, pretty much. Patchwork certainly is, and the shapes and the motifs, which we're going to look at tonight because we're going to talk about tattoos and quilts. You know, the quilt that you see on the front of or behind me with my groovy green screen, those are flying geese units. Any quilt maker will recognize them. They're just cornerstone units. We use that motif, that patchwork unit, just like a lot. It's a very handy shape. And that particular motif, this rectangle, you know, bisected, I don't know. Three triangles inside a rectangle. It appears everywhere. It appears in ancient Egypt. It appears in ancient Mongolia. We looked at the horse armor from, I think, 18th century horse armor that had that. I mean, it's really a universal thing to make these shapes and stitch them together. And so it's global, it's economics, it's art, it's, you know, it's everything. And I want to know everything, right? So quilts allow me this opportunity to, I don't know, learn about everything. You never know where we're going to end up. So I research quilts all the time, and it hit me some months ago that I could live stream my research, essentially, and share it with everybody in real time instead of having to wait or forgetting this cool thing that I learned about quilts and then never being able to share it at all. So I lecture, I write. I was an editor for a long time. I'm not right now because, you know, I'm broadcasting live on Twitch. Hey, Sibby Mac. Hey, Ivana. Hey, Nosta Quilts is here. Sorry, I have a little friend. Okay. So that's it. I bring some content to the table. We go from there, and I discover things along with you. I have for you a different quilt behind me at the start of every show, and that's where we begin. And tonight, oh, I'm so hungry. I need a chip. Okay, tonight, now I gotta get small. Hey, where are you? Oh, here. Oh, I'm small. Oh, I'm in the grass. I'm in the bushes. Oh no. At least I'm not in the drink, you know, the water. That's really funny. I didn't think about how I'd be in the bushes when I changed the scene. Hey, why don't you, cancel. Nope. I don't want to do that. Just calm down. Okay, I got to get these. I want to get these things off the bottom of the screen. They crept up there. I want you to have a clear view of this quilt. Oh man, I really, okay. Let's go. I want to get back in the bushes here. Let's get this. Okay. Yeah, I know, Yvonne. It's crazy, right? Nicole Richie. I didn't even, okay, well, I can't get too diverted tonight because I only have till 6 o'clock, but yes, it's crazy and sad and weird. I'm in the treetops. I am. I'm in the tree tabs. This quilt is a quilt designed by a woman named Jessica Ogden, okay? And it was designed for APC. And APC is I'm going to pull up the full picture of this here. Well, I mean, you can see most of it, but I'll show you this. It's very lovely, lovely shot here. APC is a clothing company. It's a retail store, a retail company. We'll take a look at their website in just a minute. I'm gonna Thursday's nerd session is gonna be epic. APC, some of you may know, some of you may have APC clothing. Like I said, we're gonna look at the website here in a minute, and you can get the idea of this company and what they sell and their prices and things like that. There are several APC stores here in London. There is not one in Chicago. There is definitely one in LA, in Silver Spring, the cool area of LA. I'm just trying to get my hair to do things. I went in there when I was in LA to do a story on Elisa Haight Carlton of the Modern Quilt Guild. In the store that I went in New York, I'm sure there's one. So it's a pretty upscale place. I mean, Chicago's a big city, and we don't have an APC there. It's a French company, so I'm sure they're in Paris. And they have sold quilts in their store for a long time, like for years and years. And they are designed by this woman, Jessica Ogden. I'm going to pull up another example. I've got lots more examples to show you. And then we're going to go to tattoos, of course. The quilts are designed by Jessica Ogden, and I'm not sure where they're made, and that's one thing that we may be discovering together, right? Because I bring you the material. I do not exhaustively research the material before I bring it to you. We look at it together. So we'll find out, where they're made. But every year there's a different collection of APC quilts. And let's take a look at the collection that is available right now. Okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I do this because I don't want any trouble. Don't give me any trouble tonight. All right. Well, first, okay. Yeah. Let's look at this, and then we'll look at Jessica Ogden. We'll read a little bit about this person, Jessica Ogden. So here's what's available now. And like I said, there's a new collection every year. No, I just want you to go away. You can see here they have, clothes for women and men, denim in particular, objects, a few home objects. Surplus is what it sounds like. It's sort of like an outlet kind of deal. The quilts are never in the surplus, at least as far as I know, because I would buy one. Not because I'd buy one because I like the only quilts I really buy are the ones that sort of disturb the norm of quilt. It's like the mass produced ones. I mean, if they're really special, kind of just some of these different examples of quilts in culture. I like it when I find a good example of those. And an APC quilt would be good. I don't know. Oh, yes. She's so wan. Okay, so these are the quilts here. So this is the current collection. They're doing a lot of pillows here in London. They call them cushions. Okay, so look, so for this 20th round with APC, 20th time, Jessica Ogden goes back to quilting basics. Notably, maybe because she has no ideas left. I'm not saying, that's not throwing shade to Jessica Ogden. That's just saying 20 rounds of quilts. She's like, zigzags. Who can it's fine. It's all I got. A traditional composition put into perspective with effects of scale, color, texture. Jessica calls these obvious classics, borrowing the expression coined by Suzanne Kohler to describe her own interaction collections. I believe that was the woman the collection I accidentally clicked on. Jean Tues decided to name each piece of this round after a person mentioned in songs by Lou Reed or the Velvet Underground. In particular, he chose 3 from Walk on the Wild Side: Holly, Sugar Plum Fairy, and Jackie. As always, photographer Alfredo Piola shot the campaign, this time in the Haute Corse region of Corsica, an area with a wide array of landscapes between land and sea, from Cap Corse to the Piana Nature Reserve to the Restonica Valley. Didn't you like how I did that? Like it was credits rolling? I was really trying to make that smooth. I think it worked. Okay, so here are some APC wares available for purchase. This I clicked on earlier because I thought it was interesting as I was going through some things to talk about. This article is almost sold out. It's $560. Does it say where it was made? Does it say where it was made? No. Patchwork of multicolored cotton materials. It looks like flannel. It is flannel. I mean, it's flannel. It doesn't say that, but it is, isn't it? I mean, yeah. Multicolored cotton materials left over from previous APC collections. Interesting. That is also what Nicole Richie... I can't believe I'm saying that. What Nicole Richie is doing with the Geese Ben quilt makers. Because, hey, Simoza. Yeah. Oh, wow. Great. Not to get political. Oh, Simoza. Okay, bye. I'm so glad you dropped in to be strange. Oh, and Kyle. Yeah, that's great. I'm so glad you dropped in to be strange. And you can stay. Just be cool. So, the House of Harlow thing, Nicole Richie is doing. She's giving all the materials to the Geese Bend quilt makers, and all the materials are House of Harlow, like scraps or something. Okay. So, designed by Jessica Ogden and Jean Tuetu. Don't know how to speak French. So sorry. Very limited edition. So it doesn't say where it's made. Okay, but this is obviously flannel, backed like that. Not quilted. Okay, let's see what else they got. So the point of telling you all this, the point of showing you these different quilts, is because I want to do a more deep dive on APC, because there's a lot that I have questions. I have questions about a lot of things, not just where they're made, but also questions about Jessica Ogden. And I don't mean like I have questions and I want answers. Just I want to know more about this person. I want to know. She lives in Jamaica. I know that. And I just wonder about her and like what she's doing now. Aside from designing for APC, she's been an artist. I mean, she is an artist. She makes other things. And so it's just interesting because this company APC has had quilts in their collection. They have very strange photography. Not a huge fan of the flying quilt thing. But yeah, she's had quilts with APC for years and years, and I just want to know like more about that. I want to know more about it. So we're going to take a look at that more deeply at some point. But I liked that blue sky quilt picture because it made me feel calm when I have this big gig. Okay, so that is our opening quilt. Now let's talk about tattoos. Tattoos. Okay. So let me do this. Hang on. Okay, so now I'm going to open up this thing here. I was thinking about, so Chris is a tattoo artist, and we had some really good suggestions in the Discord about different tattoo related quilt related things. Okay. Hang on. And I gotta pull up the right thing. Sorry. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I pulled some stuff from the Discord, and I also just grabbed some really, what I think are some pretty relevant and interesting images, people, quilts for us to look at. I mean, it's kind of like a slideshow tonight. It really is. Looking at some different tattoos, some actual tattoos like you're looking at now, and some makers who are just makers that any tattoo artist who's watching the Quilt Nerd Show, including Chris, should check out. because there's actually a lot there. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm having, okay. So here are just a couple tattoos that have been posted on, the interwebs. And there have been like tattoo artists at QuiltCon, as I mentioned. QuiltCon is the annual show of the Modern Quilt Guild. And let's see, hang on one second. I'm sorry, I just have a chat issue. Here we go. Okay. See, all my nerves are like, you see? Now my green screen is like mad at me. Okay. I don't know. I like some trolley person comes into the chat and I get all flustered. I gotta get mods. I don't even think I should say that out loud, that I don't have mods yet, but I don't, and I need them, and I need an assistant. Oh God, I told you the first time I'm multi-streaming to these different platforms, all hell breaks loose. Okay. Hey, just so Viv, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So, does anybody in the chat, by the way, have a quilt tattoo? I do not. I do not have one. I don't think I'll probably get one. I have my tattoos, but I think I have all the ones I'm going to have at this time. But there are plenty. I mean, I found a lot of people who have quilt-related tattoos. And what it got me thinking about was not just tattoos that have quilt motifs, or not just I wasn't just thinking about quilts with tattoo shapes on them, but in fact I was thinking about, if you're a tattoo artist and you are looking at quilts, you're going to find a lot, I think, to inspire or influence certain shapes and motifs, and we're going to look at a few of those. We're going to look at what I mean here in just a minute, but here are some quilt tattoos. So here we'll start off with this quilt by Barine Campbell of Happy Go Lucky Shop. So this is obviously a very literal take on some tattoo themes, right, in this quilt. I think it's really great. I think it's very successful. I love the words, the banners, and I know we could learn a lot from Chris about, where these tattoos, these different, the ribbon and the anchor and all that stuff. I'm sure there's a tattoo nerd show that could be made, for sure. And let's see. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so great. The write down mentions, quilters and tattoo artists both use the needle as their main tool. That is fascinating. That's so great. I didn't even think about it. That's so cool. And quilting. So Sue has a lot of tats. Sue, I like that for you. What are your how many tats? How many tats do you have? You've debated getting some dots tattooed on your thumbs and index fingers to use as a ruler. Holmes, that would be really gangsta. I mean, can I say that? Because I think, it's, it's tough. That would be like really tough. Like anybody who tries to mess with you in a workshop, it's like, look, I have a 1/4 inch right here. It's pretty hardcore is what I'm saying, and I like it. The colored quilt blocks are kind of cool, but maybe a temporary thing. I don't know. So far, Viv, you're thinking about it. You're going to do it. That's great. Okay, so I've got a close-up of one of these lovely blocks here. And like I said, Barine Campbell of Happy Go Lucky Shop, this pattern for this quilt is on Etsy, and you can find it there, and I think it's really good. M. Sujan got a Clada tattoo on your 60th birthday, and you're contemplating what you want on your 70th. Excellent. This is helpful. I'm so glad. Well, maybe you can commission Chris to, draw something up for you, I don't know. That'd be great. SJ would love temporary tattoos. I think those can be gotten probably pretty easily online. I have a couple tattoos. I don't know. When someone asks me what one of my tattoos means, I usually say bad judgment because I don't particularly like it, but it's okay. Oh, great. I'm so glad. Well, welcome, Anglo. I'm so glad you're here. The more people we get in the chat, the more exciting it really becomes. Okay, so let's take a look at some other stuff here because we don't have as much time today. Oh, I have this other one too. I love that. I mean, this is a great designer. And it takes a lot of, well, trial and error, but also just a lot of skill to figure out a paper piecing pattern of any kind. And this one is, yeah, it's sublime. It's excellent. Yeah, I've never seen I've never really thought deeply about the connection between tattoos and quilts, but this, who said it? Who said it? Who said it? Etricote? Who said that the needle is the tool? It was the write down. Yeah, the needle is the tool for both tattoo artists and quilt makers. I love that. So this is Libs Elliott. And Libs Elliott actually made an appearance on one of my very, very first streams. She is just a badass, and I just want to talk about her in general because she's an original, and I think a lot of people are creative. A lot of people they can be artistic, but it's not too often you come across an original, and I really think Libs Elliott is. She's known. I first heard of her because of her mad skills at long arming, but she's a terrific designer as well, and she has got a lot of tattoos. As you probably saw, she just has this, I don't know, she has an outlook that I find really comforting. There's just kind of a lot of, she embraces, the darkness perhaps. And I don't mean like really nasty, deep, dark stuff, just sort of like embraces maybe mortality and embraces, reality. And so there are, skulls and hard edges, sharp edges and things in her work, but it's always just inviting and interesting. And she's lovely too. She's just totally cool and very easy to talk to. Yeah, I do. I have inspiration to cover a bad judgment. I know. It's so true. Okay, so I got a few of Libs. So this is a pattern that you can purchase, and this is on. I don't know that this is Libs putting this particular one together, but this is a picture I found of this quilt in process, and I just think it's just awesome. So anybody seeing this who's interested in tattoos is probably going to say, I would like to find out more. Hey, Faith, about Libs Elliott. And we're going to see some more. So this quilt, this really was something I talked about early on in my streaming career. I think it was one of the 3 streams that I deleted because it was just me like going, trying to figure out what was happening. This quilt is rather famous. This is a Libs Elliott quilt. She's from Canada, and this quilt was featured. Does anybody know? Let's see. Oh, nice. Everybody's getting tattoos when they're like, in their, 50, 60, I like that. I think that's really great. So look at this. This is Libs Elliott and the bottle of Absolute vodka that her quilt is featured in. This is like the coolest thing ever. I think it's so rad. I'm not sure if it was if it was like some sort of contest or some sort of thing that she entered. If she designed something and it was like a design contest to submit your stuff, or if she's just like very cool like that and knows people at the Absolute company. But isn't it wonderful? It's so great. And so the bottle says Absolute Canada, and her quilt is featured with, hang on. Wow. I thought I had another picture of it, but there's tons of pictures. If you Google Libs Elliott vodka, you'll find more pictures of it. And it's just great. And it's such a great design for a bottle of, it made of glass that's like a clear liquid. I don't know, it's just perfect. It's like the perfect place for a really geometric, very boldly colored thing. And of course you saw probably the Canadian maple leaf there. So yeah, way cool. I love it. Way to go, Libs. This one is just, there was some reason I put this in here. Well, yeah, just that she does more complicated stuff. She does, more approachable stuff. I mean, the tattoo, the skull, is going to be a little bit more advanced, but all of Lib's patterns, I people say they're really easy to follow. And she just, yeah, this is her vibe. This is her vibe. So, and the quilting on this quilt is, you know, straight line quilting, pretty basic stuff. But the work that she does for other people, I think, let's see, who was she quilting for? Does somebody know? There was I think she and somebody else were teamed up for a while. Like she kind of, was it Angela? No, Angela Walters. No. Anyway, you might know, but yeah, she does some really amazing work. And then she has fabric. She has her own fabric line. I don't know if she does right now, probably, but you can get fabric that was designed by Libs. And of course you can see like that tattoo kind of font is happening right there. Okay, I'm clipping along because I don't want to run out of time. Just some more Libs patchwork. Really great stuff. Really great stuff. Okay. Oh no. Nose to Quilts. You are a woman after my own heart. I totally get it. I completely get it. Okay, so now we're going to move on to Ben Venom. Ben Venom. And Chris Mess is weighing in, our tattoo person. Never quite noticed a connection until you showed the Baltimore album quilts. Yeah, okay. Just thought someone wants geometric shapes or a tattoo of a patch. Very interesting. Yeah, and I could, well, yeah, okay. So stick around, because I've got some motifs that will interest you. So Ben Venom, I don't know much about. I need to get the little article pulled up here. Okay. Ben Venom this is from an article published in January from it's a website, shout out HTX. I'll just skim some of this. We had the good fortune of connecting with Ben Venom, and we've shared our conversation below. This is maybe like a men's style magazine or something like that. I'm not sure. So tell us more about your career. What can you share with our community? Okay. And Ben says, though I originally began my practice as a painter and printmaker, I began to transition to textile-based work in graduate school at the San Francisco Art Institute. While in graduate school from 2005 to 2007, I was slowly learning how to use the sewing machine. This is really interesting stuff. Via trial and error. Mistakes are a large part of my artistic process. In 2008, I was asked to participate in, I'm really slow on this chat, man. Sorry, y'all, Angela Walters is Tula Pink's long armor. I knew that. Yeah, we're going to get to Tula for sure. Hey, Stephanie Cake. Oh, you love Ben. You interviewed him. Oh, excellent. I've never met him. I've only seen his work. Anyway, he was asked to participate in a group show in Berlin, and he wanted to do something new and big. And after seeing the Geese Ben quilts, because that has to sink in, I thought it was a good time for a crisp. After seeing the Geese Ben quilts, and remember the Geese Ben exhibit was at the Whitney in 2002, and then it toured everywhere. So if he was in grad school in 2005, I decided to push the boundaries of my art and attempt to make a quilt. The first quilt would contain my collection of heavy metal band shirts. For years, I had amassed a large pile of torn up and threadbare band shirts I could never throw away. It's not cool when your Slayer shirt turns to mesh. Ha! From there, my work has progressed to include all types of material, including donated, recycled fabric, denim, and leather. Textiles have allowed me to push my art past being just a precious object hanging on the wall to become a fusion of art, fashion, and especially function. Great. Let's take a look at a few other things. I know. It's so cool, man. There's this, let's see. Carol says, there's a streamer named Meg who has an entire sewing room tattooed across her chest. What? That's crazy. Sewing machine, tape measure, pincushion. What? You got to put it in the... Heck, you could put it in the chat, actually. I can click on that. You took your daughter to a Slayer concert. Cool mom. You have the cool mom award. That's very interesting. He's from Georgia. Interesting. Oh, forget it. You have okay, the t-shirt quilt, Chris. The t-shirt quilt. The chat, I mean, people, the quilt nerds, I should say, the quilt nerds in the house may, they may have their favorite like t-shirt quilt pattern. If people have made t-shirt quilts, I don't know. Some people never have. I never have. But, if the folks in the chat have like a good recommendation for a really good t-shirt quilt pattern, because, a lot of people start with t-shirt quilts when they've never made a quilt before, but they're kind of hard to work with. I mean, they're not cotton, they're knit, and sewing a piece of knit to another piece of knit is like, ah. So if anybody has a recommendation for a good, I almost said Christmas tree skirt? No, a t-shirt quilt pattern, that would be great. Share it with Chris. Holmes follows a tattoo artist on IG, Rachel Hauer. She's a quilter too. You better be taking notes, Chris. And you should get in the Discord, because all of this stuff will be in the Discord under the episode description, episode discussion channel. Oh, great. Okay, cool. Rachel Hauer. I gotta write that down for the show notes. Rachel Hauer. I only have 15 minutes left. I gotta go. I mean, I gotta get popping. Rachel Hauer. Okay, so Ben Venom. Check him out. He's super cool. That's Ben. He's older. I mean, that's from this year. He looks older than the pictures I have seen of him. Probably because time continues to march on. And people get older, including me. And Nose to Quilts is feeling old because she forgot her keys that were actually around her neck. Okay, Ben Venom. Okay. Oh yeah, wow, I got a lot of Ben Venom. This is amazing. Look at this. It's a quilt. It's an art quilt, you could say. It's a studio art quilt. By the way, I wore my strike back shirt, obviously, so I could fit in. Okay. So yeah, Ben Venom. Okay, so now someone mentioned Tula Pink. And I could go on about Tula Pink. I am a big fan. I think she's wonderful. This is a temporary tattoo, I believe, that she has. Tula Pink is one of the most talented people in the industry. I believe that. She is a wildly successful fabric designer and quilt designer. She has fans that, she has stands. There are Tula Pink stands. There are people who stalk her at shows. She's traveled the world to teach and speak. She's really, really, she's an original too. She really is. And I've only got some of her fabric. Well, so this is what I wanted to say. This is where I was getting at when I was like, you can look at like quilt tattoos and you can look at quilts that have like tattoo themes. But with Tula, I was like, it's her, she has tons of tattoos herself, but it's in her fabric that you really, I don't know about tattoos at all, but line art, isn't that kind of like what you're drawing? I don't know. Maybe I'm really speaking about it incorrectly, but yeah. Tula Pink is not just a great designer. She and her family, she works with her brother and her mother. They're brilliant entrepreneurs, just brilliant. So inspiring and just sort of awe-inspiring. Anyway, her detail, her sense of detail, her skill, her experience as an artist creates fabric like nobody else's. Tula fabric, it immediately. She said once that what did she say? Aqua is my neutral. Aqua is my neutral. So when you're making a quilt, it's like, usually it's like brown or I don't know, gray or something like that. But like for her, her stuff is so colorful. Tula fabric when you're a mile away, and therefore the quilts that she makes with those fabrics are also just like full Tula. She's just got this she's an icon. She's got an iconic style. So I threw some swatches of Tula fabric in here because it's like these motifs, and this is a classic kind of, it's called clamshell. It's a clamshell motif. We use it in quilts and it's in fabric. And tattoo of a tree frog. Oh yeah, this is great. Oh, everyone's inspired about getting a tattoo. This is wonderful. Baby. Oh, there, Mara had a quilt spotting, baby quilt spotting. Sorry. So these little dots, right? I liked this in terms of tattoo work. These tiny little dots and this repeating motif. It looks like snake scales too, right? Some of this stuff is probably pretty obvious, but it's really fun to think about it in the context of tattoos. I love it. This is line art. This is some of Tula's, sketches. I'm not sure where I found this, but I did. I mean, look at her zebra. She's just amazing. She's amazing. She's amazing. I hope will she be at QuiltCon? It's interesting. She's my age. We're the same age. I'm not really in the modern quilt. I think I'm a Modern Quilt Guild member still, I think. I need to check. But I haven't made modern quilts. It's just not, I don't fit quite in there. It's interesting. I don't fit quite in the traditional world of quilts, and I don't fit quite in the modern world of quilts. I'm kind of straddling the two things. And I feel like Tula's kind of the same, because her fabrics are not minimalistic at all. They're wild, they're ornate. She has all of this, do I have another Tula? Yeah, she has, look at this. I mean, this detail, when the moderns were doing their thing, when they first started, it was all about minimalism. It was about tiny dots and tiny chevrons and, a lot. I mean, there was Amy Butler, and there was some different stuff, but Tula has always been about, big excess, right? These designs. And so, the modern quilters, it's like there's traditional people, modern people, and Tula people almost, who do it all, but they love her. So anyway, so Tula Pink, definitely look at her. She's just a massive talent and just a fascinating person in our industry. I'm really clipping along, y'all. Oh yeah, here's another Tula. Yeah, the damask. This damask stuff is just great. Ugh, she's so good. So good. Okay, this is fun. Okay, I just have a couple more things here because I have 10 minutes before I have to go. And it's a hard stop because I got to get ready. I have to fix my hair for one thing. This is kind of cute. So this is this man. And I found it on a Road to California blog entry from, doesn't have a date on it. I have a picture of him and his wife as well, but let's go back here. Husband and wife, 2015. This is from 2015. Road to California is a big quilt show that happens every year. Husband and wife, Steve and Pam Dransfelt, own a long arm quilting business. Chris probably doesn't know what a long arm is, but that's okay. In Camarillo, California. They've attended the Road to California show for several years. The fellow Steve works in a paper mill. He says, they love the quilts, and Steve says, quote, "I work in a paper mill, and I try to tell the guys how great quilting is, but they have no idea," unquote. They sport, both of them sport several quilt-inspired tattoos. Steve even has a tattoo design on the back of his leg that came from a Karen McTavish quilt. And I was like, Karen McTavish, that's going to be our big finish. I got to show the tattoo people Karen McTavish. It makes perfect sense. Steve says her quilt work is natural for tattoos. Couldn't agree more, Steve. An excellent, excellent point. So that's we got to look at Karen McTavish. Those of you who know her are probably going to be like, yeah. Oh, nice. Stephanie has too much of a certain kind of Tula fabric, so DM her if you need some. It's collectible. Somebody said it's collectible fabric, and it is. She's that big of a deal. Okay, yeah. Now I've got to grab my Karen McTavish is a quilt maker, and she is she's a quilter par excellence. I think I said that word earlier today, but I mean it. Karen McTavish lives in Minnesota. She has been making quilts for many years. Let me find my images here. Karen McTavish. Oh, I'm so good. They're right there. Excellent. Very good. These are pictures that were taken. I only have a few because I only have a few. These were taken for Quilt Folk magazine in 2019. When the story was done on Karen for the Minnesota issue of Quilt Folk. I was not there. It was like the first Quilt Folk photo shoot where I was the editor of the magazine, but I was not actually present. I forget why. There was a good reason, but everyone said, this person is just amazing. She is generous with her time. She has, she has a lot of tattoos. She really, it seems like she connects with sort of the larger themes of quilting. She has a great generosity of spirit to give her students, and people who take her classes are kind of like forever changed, it seems, and she's just such a great long arm quilter. And for those who don't know, the long arm is a very big, it's a quilting machine. A long arm, we'll talk about long arms. I think I mentioned that we should do that a while ago. Like, let's talk about long arm quilting machines because, okay, how do I do this quickly? So when quilts got to be really, you can make them really fast. It started happening like in the 80s, in the 90s. All this technology started appearing that made making quilts a lot faster than it used to be, including the rotary cutter. Okay, the rotary cutter came along, and we'll talk about it later. But no longer did you have to cut out pieces of fabric with scissors. Like, you didn't have to use a template to cut out a flying geese, the pieces that you needed to make a flying geese unit. So quilt tops, this is my mom and I's theory, quilt tops started being, like, they started stacking up before they could even get quilted. Because a quilt is the top, the patchwork top, the batting, which is like the filling of the sandwich, and then the backing, and that's your quilt sandwich. And it's not a quilt until it's quilted, until you quilt all the way through those layers in a beautiful design, right? But, the rotary cutter made it so fast to make the top part that, we just sort of needed to get our quilts quilted. This is part of what we think happened, okay? And yes, eat her coat. I am going to, DM you. Can someone invite, is it only I can invite people to the Discord, or can somebody who belongs on the Discord invite Eat Your Coat? Because we had a few randos in here, I don't want to put the link to the Discord here right now. You know what I'm saying? But Eat Your Coat, I think I can also message you on Twitch. If you don't get it tonight, you'll get it next time, because I'm going to put the mods together and all that stuff. Sorry to interrupt, but I just saw that. So the long arm is this enormous machine that first, that you load a piece of textile onto this roller, and then you drive, this sewing machine basically, across the frame, and there's a lot of different kinds of long arms and stuff, but those kinds of machines were used in industrial capacities, making mattresses and, sewing big, huge, long lengths of fabric. But in the 90s and 2000, suddenly there were long arm quilting machines available for quilters. And so you could have one of these monsters in your house and do the quilting on this big frame with, electricity and now lasers, to help you. So we got to talk about long arms. It's such an interesting topic. I mean, who knew long arm quilting machines were an interesting topic? Well, there's a lot to say about them. They're not as pretty as the quilts that come off of them, but the whole long arm thing is just a very interesting development in the life of the quilt in America. Yeah, Mark, I'm with you. So Karen McTavish. So look, this is what I'm talking about. When so there's a technique she calls Mctavishing. She didn't give that name to the technique, but her fans, she has fans and devoted students, they call it Mctavishing. And it's this particular way to quilt a quilt. It's those swirls, and then the swirls kind of build on each other. An example of Mctavishing is right here. You have this swirl, okay? And then this swirl builds on it, and this swirl builds on it. And here you have, little pebbles, little round pieces and things. But it's sort of building that. It's this right in here is a really good example of Mctavishing. Yeah. She just, her work is just insane. It's insane. Yeah, here. Great. Sorry, let me zoom out so you can see what you're looking at. This is a detail shot of a quilt. And then let's check out this Mctavishing. So you guys can probably tell why I was I get what Steve, the tattoo guy, was talking about, and we should totally look at Taryn McTavish's quilt work if we're talking about tattoos and quilts. Oh, yes. Doodlers could make good quilters. Yvonne, you have to put your custom painted long arm, a picture of that in the Discord. That would be amazing. And Yvonne is a professional long armor. And so that's part of the story of long arming, because once these long arm machines were out there, not everybody could afford one. Not everybody can fit one in their house. Not everybody is very good at it or even wants to be good at it. But there are other people who it's a cottage industry. So you can get a really great long arm machine, get very good at long arming, and then quilters will pay you to quilt their quilt. And this has been something that's been done forever. Women would make money quilting other people's quilts forever. It's happened for a long time. So anybody who gives you crap about getting your quilt, quilted by somebody else, I don't think people throw shade about that much these days. I hope not, because it's just really common. My mom says you can quilt a quilt one of three ways: by hand, by machine, or by credit card. Okay, I'm watching. Listen, I am watching. I know. The green screen is like, it's me. It's like burning out my forehead or something. I mean, it's just, of course, my big YouTube debut. People, there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. And I have to go. It's 5:59 and I have to be on stage, on another digital stage in 1 hour, and I need to do a tech check and all of that. But I think that was the end of my picture. Did I really? Yes, I did it. Wow. All those pictures of tattoo related quilts and things. I'm so glad that I think it looks like glitter. Maybe I look like a skeleton if I get, yes, you see, but here it looks a little bit like glitter. Marianne, I'll get this fixed before I speak to your guild. It'll look great in a half an hour. Thanks everybody, and thanks so much. I love being with you. I couldn't cancel the show. I had to do it, such as it is. So I'll see you on Thursday, and we will have an excellent time. Chris, I hope that, and anybody else who's into like tattoos and stuff, or quilts and stuff, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're back here on Thursday at 11 a.m., Saturdays at 4 p.m. I don't know if we're going to sew together on Sunday or not. I got to take a look at everything else, but always a pleasure. Okay? All right. Follow me, subscribe, all that good stuff.